it feel like days. Only been days, but it feel like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast when you do.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Lacey and I'm a middle school teacher, and we are going to do a teacher Q&A, but I'm doing it vlog style. So I'll just pick up the camera here and there whenever I have a moment during my school day and just answer a question instead of just sitting down and answering all of them at once. So I just got to work. It's like 7:40 because it takes me a few minutes to turn on my lamps and get the board, everything ready. So I'm officially ready, and I wanted to talk to you guys real quick and answer the first question. These are going to be more vulnerable questions. These are not going to be the simple, how long have you been teaching questions? Because I like to use my platform to give you the real deal about teaching. So the first question is actually, what is one of the biggest flaws in education? Which I could say a lot of different answers, but the first thing that came to mind when I saw this question was politics. And I'm not talking about president who you voted for politics. I'm talking about politics in education. A lot of times it's all about who you know. Like Celeste has mentioned in the past that she wants to be an administrator one day. So let's just say she becomes an administrator. I could literally text her and say, hey, I want to work at your school, and she could make it happen. No interview or anything, just because of our relationship. That's called politics, and that happens all the time in education. So that's definitely a flaw, because that gets people in the classroom who do not need to be in the classroom. So that is what I would say is a very big flaw in education. We're starting off juicy, starting off with the bang, but I need to open the door, let the kids in, and I will answer the next question during planning. I just dropped the kids off at Connections, and I just paused the music because I am running to a meeting, which actually leads to the next question. Somebody asked if I am someone who talks and asks questions in meetings, or if I am quiet. And 9 times out of 8, and yes, I said 9 times out of 8, I am typically quiet in meetings because I'm usually ready to go. But it is Thursday, so Thursday is when I get with the other 7th grade ELA teachers. There are 3 of us, and we actually plan for next week. So those meetings I do participate, because I obviously want to plan fun stuff for the kids and make sure we're able to incorporate some fun activities and stuff like that. So I am vocal in ELA meetings, but other meetings not so much. I'm back from my meeting. Everything is all planned for next week, so I am feeling good, and I decided to answer one more question before the kids come back from Connections. And the question actually came from one of my old students, and they asked, do you have a favorite student at your new school yet? And I'm gonna say yes, but no. I do have some students that do stand out to me. They like to be in my skin already, but I'm not going to be driving people around, spending extra time and money on my favorites like I did in the past. I shared a story before, but I had a favorite student at my last school. I spent lots of money, lots of time, lots of energy investing in her. I don't regret it, but I just feel like that's excessive. And there are some students that I'm definitely very extra connected to here, but it's gonna be an in-school connection, if that makes sense. I have time for one more question before the kids come back. So since it's nice and peace and quiet right now, I'm gonna answer the question, do you ever get overstimulated? Right now on planning, when the kids are gone, of course I don't. But there are a lot of days I do get overstimulated, especially Fridays, because on Fridays they have a fun Friday, and they get to spend the last 30 minutes of the day outside running around. So it's just loud and chaotic. I feel like there's a misconception that only elementary school teachers get overstimulated, but middle school teachers definitely feel that way too. It's lunchtime now, and I do eat lunch with the other teachers, but I had to come back to my room because we went to the library today, and they had to go straight to lunch from the library. So I told them I would bring their books back to my room, so they're here ready for when they come back. The next question is, am I close with my new coworkers? I just mentioned I do eat lunch with them. We definitely all get along. We have a great professional relationship, but we don't like hang out on the weekends or text outside of school. We have a really good professional relationship, which I feel like is good because it is a job at the end of the day. But it's not like at my last school when I had like a friend group. Like we hung out all the time outside of school. We still do. I will pop a picture up on the screen because we just hung out over the weekend, and I miss them so much. Maybe as time goes on, I'll become close friends with my new coworkers. But as of right now, it's a professional relationship. We work well together, no issues, but we're not hanging out or anything like that. I'm gonna answer one last question. I'm home now, taking off my makeup, and I just took out my earrings, and I'm starting to wind down, but I wanted to answer one more question with you guys, and then tomorrow we'll answer some more. The last question that we're going to end today with is, what are some differences between your new school and your last school? And there is one obvious difference, which is demographics. I am in the minority at my school, but at my last school, I was in the majority and most teachers looked like me. It does not matter. It does not make a difference, but it's just an obvious difference. And then another difference, I kind of talked about this a little bit with the last question, but I had a really solid friend group of coworkers. Like when I say, oh, me and my friend group are gonna go do this, I'm referring to my coworkers I used to work with at my last school. And it was so good to see them over the weekend. It kind of hurt my heart a little bit because I used to see them every day. And now, like I said, I am trying to keep it professional this year at my new school. And so it's just not gonna be the same. I just come, I do my job, I get my work done, I kind of keep to myself, and then I go home. And I'm kind of not used to that because in the past I would, catch up with my coworkers a little bit and, talk to them more on a personal level. So that's a difference as well. I'm sure there's more, but it's still August. And right now I'm just trying to survive because your girl is tired. But I'm gonna end today's portion here and I will see you guys in the morning so we can answer some more questions. Happy Friday, guys. I am on the way to work. It is rainy, so please excuse the lighting. When I get to work, I have a few last minute things to do, so I decided to answer a question in the car this morning. And somebody actually submitted this question last night. One of our subscribers asked, how has classroom management and discipline been in 7th grade versus 8th grade? Because I taught 8th grade last year. And guys, honestly, in 8th grade, we didn't really have a ton of behavior issues. Honestly, those kids are too cool. They kind of just shrug. They kind of just sit there and do their work. And honestly, I can't think of anything major behavior-wise. Of course, maybe a little bit of sassiness, but you guys know I'm sassy too, so that does not bother me. But with 7th grade, I definitely am seeing a lot more behaviors, just the maturity level, even just between 1 year, 7th grade and 8th grade is very, very different. So they do a lot of goofy, silly things, a lot of times at the wrong time. So I am trying to figure out how to address it. I do plan on following, of course, the school policy. I reach out to parents, I'll sign their form. They have like a behavior form we can sign. I'm gonna do all the school things, but this month I kind of just observed. I didn't really do much actual documenting because I kind of am just observing, but come September, now that I know who to look out for, things are gonna have to change. The behaviors are a lot different than what I'm used to in 8th grade. Just dropped the kids off at Connection, so I'm on planning. They're also concerned because I think I popped a blood vessel or something in my eye and it looks very scary, but it doesn't hurt or anything. Luckily, we have a 3-day weekend, so I'm just gonna have to wear my glasses and set up my contacts to see if that'll help because it looks scarier than it feels. But I am going to answer the next question now. The next question is, do you feel like you can show your real self at work? And I would say somewhat, but not 100% because obviously it's a job. I gotta be professional. And I feel like no one can confidently say that their professional self is their real self. Obviously, when you're at home with your family, you're not acting professional. So on some level, yes, I do show my personality sometimes with the kids and, I'll joke around with them at times. But same thing with my coworkers. I'll share some things about my life with them, but mainly we talk about school stuff and stuff about the job. So yeah, kind of my real self at moments, but not consistently, obviously. I'm more professional than I am my real laid back self. So that's my answer. I'm sure that's the same for every job, not just teaching, because it's a job. We have a job to do. So that is my answer. I'm gonna do a little bit of work and then I am going to answer a couple more questions. I have like 3 minutes till the kids come back. I had a really productive planning, but I'm gonna answer one more quick question. Someone asked about me being sassy. They said, do you feel like you're sassy in the classroom as well? And I would say sometimes yes. If a student is doing something wrong, then I'll usually make a comment. So I feel like sass is different from being rude. It's something like kind of silly, but it's also firm enough to stop the behavior. Like for example, someone today was playing around. So I said, if you're gonna play around, then I'm gonna play in the grade book. It's not offensive, it's just silly, but it does stop the behavior. So that is an example of me being sassy in the classroom. I definitely am if I'm correcting a behavior because I am trying not to be mean and I like to make things lighthearted, but I'm not just sassy every day, just walking in the building, just sassy. It's officially Labor Day weekend. I just made it home and I am going to answer one more question with you guys. It's technically 2 questions in one. This is the most asked question that I get all the time. I've kind of avoided it, but I'm officially going to answer it because it is my life, it is my experience, it is my story. I do want to share my answer about why I left my last school and do I regret it. So I'm gonna try to word this a little vaguely, but hopefully you guys will be able to read between the lines. I had a great relationship with other teachers. I had a great relationship with my students, and they are not the reasons why I left. I left because I am a very strong woman. That does not mean I'm loud and bossy or anything like that at work, but I do speak up if I don't agree with something, or like in meetings, if I feel like I need to speak up, then I will. I have strong opinions, and I would just describe myself as a strong woman, and it was just not appreciated. I've never been in a position of power, but I feel like if I'm a leader, I won't want people to fear me. I would want people to be able to be comfortable with me, and that's just me. But that was just not my experience at my last school, and I'm not going to change myself, so I just had to change my environment. And I don't necessarily regret it, because I'm not going to lie, I definitely have some pride. I'm not a perfect person, and I made the decision that was best for me, and I take pride in it. However, once I announced that I was leaving, I resigned. We ended up getting new leadership after all, so it kind of felt like it was in vain, because the new leadership is someone that I would enjoy working under. So it kind of felt like, dang, like I could have just waited and stayed and just, you know, waited it out. But obviously I couldn't predict that leadership would change. So it is what it is. But that's the real answer. Hopefully you kind of picked up what I was putting down about that. But that is why I left. If I'm not appreciated, then I gotta go. So that's the tea on that. I'm gonna end the video here. If you want to talk more about this, then comment down below and I will try to talk more about it in the comments. I'm trying to be professional because I am still a teacher, obviously, so that was the best I could do. But I am going to end the video here and start my weekend. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like, share, comment, and definitely subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys!